Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Welcome to San Diego. The Diamondbacks, fresh off a 6-3 homestand that just concluded with a series sweep of the Mets, now take their show on the road. Tonight, it's Taijuan Walker on the mound versus the Padres' Jared Weaver to open up a 3-game series. The D-backs look to get to 7 games over 500 on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Petco Park, and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume and Bob Brenly along the way. No doubt the Diamondbacks are rolling right now, but tonight they begin what may be their most difficult stretch of the entire season. The D-backs will play 22 of their next 31 games on the road. And Bob, the road is where some of their best hitters have struggled.
Yeah, you know, Ernie Banks said Wrigley Field was the friendly confines. I think the D-backs offense would tell you that Chase Field is the friendly confines. They're hitting 92 points higher at home this year, and some very key bats in the middle of that lineup. Guys that you expect to produce runs have really struggled on the road this season. No obvious explanation other than the competition we face. The Dodgers are good at home. The Rockies are good at home. The Nationals are good at home.
Well, hopefully they should be able to put up some numbers against the Padres' Jared Weaver, who was San Diego's starter tonight. Taijuan Walker gets the baseball for the D-backs. Last time he faced these Padres last month at Chase Field, he was awesome.
Yeah, the Padres and Jared Weaver in that ball game, 8 strong innings, gave up only 2 runs on 4 hits, punched out 11, did not walk a batter, had that high fastball working all night long.
We are set to go. The opener of a 3-game set here at Petco Park. The D-backs and the Padres. First pitch is coming up shortly on Fox Sports Arizona.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Tire Pros. Everything rotates around you. By Gila River Casinos. Experience winning like you've never imagined at the Gila River Casinos, Lone Butte, Bequiva, and Wild Horse Pass. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. Location statewide. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers. Everything Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Welcome to the Gig Life. And by State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM.
I'm sailing off the shores of San Diego. Diamondbacks sail into town to face the San Diego Padres in their brown and gold tonight. Taijuan Walker on the mound in the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Just a beautiful day and lovely evening here in San Diego, California. Coastal cool, 74 degrees. It's the D-backs and the Padres, the first of a three-game weekend series. Diamondbacks 18-8 at home this year, but just 6-10 on the road. That must improve. And so here's a look at Torey Lovullo's lineup tonight. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Left-handed heavy at the top of the order. Gregor Blanco will lead it off out in center field. David Peralta in right field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Jake Lamb over at third. Yasmani Tomas will be in left field with Brandon Drury at second. Chris Owings at short. Jeff Mathis behind the plate for right-hander Taijuan Walker.
Well, as we mentioned at the top of the show, the Diamondbacks tonight beginning what may be their most difficult stretch of the entire season. They will play 22 of their next 31 games on the road. That means, Bob, between now and June 22nd, only 9 games at Chase Field.
Well, we've been very fortunate to have a lot of home games in the early part of the schedule this year. And as I mentioned in the open, if you look at where the Diamondbacks have gone on the road, Colorado and LA, two teams that play extremely well at home. Washington Nationals play really good in their home ballpark. And occasionally you bump up against another team's top of the rotation. And that's kind of been what's affected the Diamondbacks offense this year. They're looking to bust out in a big way tonight.
Well, before we get started, let's take a look at your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Just for you, partner.
Uh-oh. Yes!
Make them frown wearing brown.
Nice work. This may be your best key to the game ever. Andy Green modeling their throwback brown and golds, which they frankly should be wearing in every game, but that's a whole nother thing. Your Ram truck starting pitcher for Andy Green's Padres is Jared Weaver, now 34 years old, in his first season in San Diego. After 11 years with the Angels, and it's not gone well. He is winless in 8 starts. The ERA is over 6, and he leads the National League in home runs allowed.
That being said, he's coming off his best start of the year by far against the Chicago White Sox. Went 6 innings, gave up only 5 hits, 1 run in that ball game, and the only start this year that Jared Weaver did not surrender at least 1 home run.
Let's take a look at the Padres defensively. It's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Corey Spangenberg will be out in left field tonight with Manuel Margot in center. Hunter Renfroe over in right field. It'll be Schimpf and Ibar on the left side of the infield with Solarte and Myers on the right side. Austin Hedges, you got to watch out for him behind the plate, tied for the catcher's position with Salvador Perez for the most home runs in baseball this year.
Dan Isonia has the balls and strikes. He's the plate umpire tonight. Trip Gibson is at first base. Ramon De Jesus at second. And the crew chief, Brian Gorman, is our third base umpire. Just a gorgeous night for baseball here at Petco Park. It usually is. But the Padres, well, they've been scuffling. They come into tonight having lost 3 straight, 8 of their last 10. So Torey Lovullo up against a ball club that's already 13 games below 500.
Yeah, 4 games under 500 here at Petco Park, 8-12 on the season. And with Jared Weaver on the mound tonight, there's a few guys in this D-backs lineup that are looking to get fat tonight.
Gregor Blanco will lead it off in center field, and we are set to go the first of 3. The Diamondbacks and the Padres from Petco Park in San Diego puts the shift on against Blanco, and there's ball 1. Here's a look at the defensive alignment. Ryan Schimpf in a step or 2 on the grass at third. 1-1 to Blanco, who checks in batting .263 with 3 runs batted in. Eric Ibar, the shortstop, on the first base side of second. And Yangervis Solarte slides over. He's on the outfield grass against Blanco. Change up from Weaver, and it's 2-2. And now, as the count changes, so does the defense. Ryan Schimpf, the third baseman, jogs over to second. And it's Ibar who's all by himself, the shortstop, on the left-hand side. So Andy Green do that when he was running the Diamondback defense, shifting batter to batter and count to count, and Blanco's got a freebie. Hit them where they ain't.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why not take it, right?
A few brief moments ago, Ryan Schimpf was standing right there, but they move him over to the right side of the infield. Blanco cues one off the end of the bat right where Ryan Schimpf had been standing.
Leadoff man aboard. Chance for David Peralta here. David .294 with 3 homers. They'll stay in that defensive alignment with Schimpf, the third baseman, in the second base spot. And Ibar near third. Peralta hitless in 3 at-bats against Jared Weaver the last time the Diamondbacks played the Padres. That was at the end of April back in Phoenix. Austin Hedges behind the plate, sets up, down and away. Peralta lets it go, and it's 1-1.
Well, don't expect to see that velocity spike too much for Jared Weaver. He does not throw hard. He's not a guy that's going to add on his fastball. He may take a little bit off of his fastball. He may take a little bit off of all of his pitches, but there's not much left in the tank to add.
Weaver in his last start Sunday against the White Sox topped out at 84 miles per hour with his fastball, and you can see that the only guy who throws a slower fastball than Jared Weaver is knuckleball ace R.A. Dickey.
That doesn't mean you can't be an effective pitcher. You don't need to have overwhelming velocity to be successful at the major league level, but you do have to be darn near perfect with your command of an 83, 84 mile an hour fastball.
Well, that's what he does. He does throw strikes. Oftentimes now they get hit, but he is in the strike zone, Jared Weaver. The 2-1 to Peralta. Blanco holds it first. David lifts that one around the second base bag. Coming in as Ibar, the shortstop. And that's the first out.
believe it was in Jared Weaver's last start against the Diamondbacks at the end of April when we talked about the hitters making an adjustment at the plate. Instead of standing on the back line of the batter's box, you might want to think about scooting up toward the front of the box. I mean, this is a guy you can look out over the plate and still get to his fastball inside.
Paul Goldschmidt, no shift on by the Padres. Ball one to Goldie, who's hitting .309, leading the Diamondbacks in home runs and RBIs, and still leading the major leagues in walks. Mentioned that Weaver is usually in the strike zone. In fact, this season, he's given up more home runs than walks, which is an odd stat. He's surrendered 14 home runs, the most in the league, in fact. But he's walked only 10 batters in 8 starts. Behind on Goldie, 2-0. Goes play at first. He's back safely, says Tripp Gibson down there. Blanco 2 for 2 so far in his stolen base attempts this year. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate between the Weaver fastball and the Weaver changeup. But Goldie's had good numbers against him. 4 for 6 career versus Jared Weaver. Here's the 2-1. Lays off that pitch, and it's 3 balls and a strike.
Well, you really have to take a different mindset as a hitter facing somebody who throws in the mid-80s and down. I mean, you're used to seeing fastballs in the mid to upper 90s to start a ball game, and your mindset has to be completely different. I'm going to slow everything down. I'm going to make him throw strikes. Be a little more selective up there at the plate.
Well, the major league leader has another base on balls. Diamondbacks have 2 on and 1 out for the cleanup man, Jake Lamb. Jake hitting .283 with 9 home runs. He has homered in each of his last 2 games. Blanco at second and Goldschmidt at first. First pitch fastball is in there, and it's 0-1. Jake Lamb really seeing the ball well lately. Jake has not swung and missed a pitch in his last 15 plate appearances, which is a remarkable turnaround for him, because we've seen him go through stretches this year where he strikes out a lot. Not lately.
Well, I think this has a chance to be a real good matchup for Jake Lamb tonight. He has the ability to slow his swing down when necessary. Usually the problem for Jake is speeding it up, getting the bat into the hitting zone a little bit quicker, but against Weaver tonight, he should be able to pick and choose what he wants to swing at.
There go the runners. Swing and a miss. Hedges throw to third, and Blanco is in there. Stolen base number 3 for Gregor Blanco, number 11 for Goldie. Hedges can throw back there. He's got a good arm.
Yeah, he's thrown out 28% on the season, and clean shot down to third base there with the left-handed hitter at the plate. Gregor Blanco just outruns the throw that time. The easiest stolen base Goldie's ever had.
Exactly. So there is a swing and a miss by Lamb. He's down 1-2. Now just a ground ball through the infield will score 2 runs. Jake Lamb begins this series with a 6-game hitting streak. He's got 11 hits in his last 6 games, and he's had some great at-bats lately, taking his walks, really cut down on the strikeouts. Gets into one, and there it goes. Jake Lamb way out of here. And it's 3-0 Diamondbacks. Number 10 for Lamb.
Well, you could almost feel that one coming. Jake Lamb was approaching the ball like he does in batting practice. Lengthen the stride out just a little bit so you're not getting under the ball too much. And as I mentioned, be very, very selective. Make sure the pitch that he throws is something you want to swing at, and that's something you want to definitely swing at. 82 up and out over the plate.
That pink fence right there, the T-Mobile home run deck, that was the old fence at Petco Park, and it was way over that. Taijuan Walker grateful for that jumbo jack. A free jumbo jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink at Jack in the Box. Yasmani Tomas. So make it now 15 home runs given up this year by Jared Weaver, the most in the league. Yasmani homered and doubled off Weaver when he faced him last month at Chase Field. That's in there first round. .417 feet on the Lamb homer. Tomas 252, 8 home runs. Jake Lamb, his 10th home run this year, ties Goldie for the team lead. And very quickly, 3-0 Diamondbacks. Still only 1 out. Yasmani chops the 2-1. Yasmani Tomas, a pair of homers and a clutch 2-out RBI double in the sweep over the Mets this week. That's our State Farm winning combo.
Well, Yasmani had a really good series against the Mets. Some of the best at bats we've seen him take this year. Laying off tough pitches, got pitches in the strike zone and put a good swing on them.
Some very patient at bats. Well, Tomas points out, look, this is 3rd year in the big leagues now. And he really believes that, you know, the way that he's been going is better because he's had more experience. He feels a lot better. He's made some adjustments, most of those mental. And he's a lot more comfortable up there, frankly. Where before he was really pressing, trying to do too much. They always say, let the game come to you. And you can actually see him doing that with some of these long, extended, patient at-bats. And he's worked the count full here, 3-2. There's Yasmani Tomas. Second walk of the inning issued by Jared Weaver.
12th of the season for Yasmani Tomas. You kind of lose sight of the fact that he's out walked Pollock, Peralta, Owings, Drury.
How about that?
That patient approach starting to pay dividends.
A base runner now for Brandon Drury. Weaver already at 26 pitches. He's only got 1 out so far. There's strike 1 to Brandon Drury. That 84-mile-an-hour fastball's in there. Drury 306 and 3 homers. Brandon Drury drives one deep left field. That ball is gone. Brandon Drury, his 4th, and it's 5-0 Diamondbacks.
Wow, early tacos tonight. Diamondbacks with a 5 spot already in the first inning with only 1 out.
Took 6 batters to get you tacos.
Boy, this ball is absolutely crushed. Another sinker that just comes right back to that inner third of the plate. Boy, these guys are taking swings like it is batting practice. Teeing them up.
Well, there's more bad news for Weaver. Chris Owings is the hitter, and CO homered off Weaver twice the last time he faced him at Chase Field. 5 runs means tacos. And a big smile from Brandon Drury. Owings 317, 5 homers. See that OPS, that's up more than 100 points over last season for CO. Fouled back, and it's 1-2. Last time in Phoenix, Owings homered off Weaver the first 2 times he faced him in that ball game. Bidding for another one here, but he yanks it foul.
Well, this is one of those innings where if you're the defense playing behind Jared Weaver, you're just kind of standing there with your hands in your pockets. That swinging infield bunt by Gregor Blanco didn't require a defensive play. The pop up to short by David Peralta, the only time the defense has had to move.
We got a move here. Manuel Margot can't get it, and Owings is on the run. It rolls all the way to the wall, and CO pulls in a second with his 8th double. That carried over the head of Manuel Margot in center.
And that's what happens when your defense stands around with their hands in their pockets, watching a couple of walks, a couple of long balls, and you get caught by surprise when somebody finally does hit one your way. That was a slider out over the plate, and Chris Owings stayed right on it and barreled it up to center field.
Well, this has become a nightmare inning for Jared Weaver, Darren Balsley, the pitching coaches out there. Weaver's job has been hanging by a thread. Now, he had maybe his best start all year. His last time out Sunday, that was against the White Sox. So he earned himself a little more leash with that one. It was the first time in his last 4 starts he finished 6 innings. 1 run, 5 hits, he walked 2. Did not surrender a home run for the first time all year, but he's already given up 2 homers tonight. The 8th man to bat in the top of the first is the catcher, Jeff Mathis. Mathis's bat has come alive as of late. 183, 2 homers. He's hit safely in 6 of his last 8 starts. Broken bat roller to second. Solarte gets over there. Owings is over at third. 2 down. And here's the pitcher, Taijuan Walker.
Every starting pitcher's dream on the road to get an at bat in the first inning.
How about that, huh? Well, Weaver has needed some signs of positivity. Ron Fowler is the Padres executive chairman. He was on the radio the other day and used the term short leash in reference to Weaver, who had lost 3 straight starts before Sunday's no decision. And Fowler said they'd had several performances from Jared that have been not very good, and they might have to make some decisions. And now they're going to be scratching their heads again after this start. Renfroe in right field runs out of room.
Perhaps a little premature to say that the D-backs offense on the road has snapped out of their slump, but they're headed in the right direction.
Exactly. They watch the open. Taijuan bounces one into center. That's an RBI single, and it's 6-0 Diamondbacks. D-backs bat around in the top of the first against Jared Weaver. And the Boo Birds are out here at Petco Park.
So is Miguel Diaz in the Padres bullpen, warming up quickly as Bud Black, or rather Andy Green, heads out to the mound.
Well, Weaver's outing tonight lasts only 9 batters. He retired just 2 of them. And after 2/3 of an inning, he will leave trailing 6-0 back from San Diego right after this. Backs get the bats going on the road, and they've so far scored 6 runs in a first that's not yet complete. Jared Weaver is gone after recording only 2 outs, and on from the Padre bullpen, this is the right-hander Miguel Diaz.
Diaz just threw 3 innings on Tuesday out of the Padres bullpen. He's been really good on the road, holding opponents to a 194 average, but here at Petco, opponents hitting .316 against the right-hander.
Jake Lamb a 3-run homer, Brandon Drury a 2-run home run, Taijuan Walker an RBI single. And now the 10th man to bat in the top of the first inning is the center fielder and leadoff man Gregor Blanco, who singled, stole a base, and scored a run to lead off the ball game. Walker still at first, 2 outs. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Diaz throws considerably harder than Jared Weaver.
All those adjustments I was talking about as this inning began. Slow yourself down, move up in the box, get closer to the pitcher.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Fastballs just went from 84 to 96 in a hurry. Tried another one there and missed, and Blanco's ahead 2-1. Well, the Padres are reeling right now. This sets a very good tone for the weekend for the Diamondbacks. San Diego's already lost 3 straight, 8 of their last 10 coming in, 13 games under 500. And the season is getting ugly quickly. By the way, this is not the shortest outing ever for Jared Weaver. You have to go back to actually some of his glory days with the Angels. 2012. Had a start against the Yankees in which he lasted 0 innings. So this is the 2nd shortest outing of his career tonight. Blanco looks at a 3-1 fastball. And you have to wonder if that was his last start as a Padre. They've already talked about it publicly, ownership.
Usually once they jump that fence and start taking it public, whether on the radio or in the newspapers, on a TV interview, whatever the case may be, that's usually your last opportunity.
So Blanco's aboard for the 2nd time tonight. The inning continues. 3rd walk of the inning issued by Padres pitchers. And here's David Peralta, who popped up his first time up. Taijuan Walker, the pitcher's at second. Blanco at first. 6 runs already in. Don't want to make light of Jared Weaver's situation. He's had a very good career, 11 years in the big leagues. 3 times an All-Star, 3 times top 5 in the Cy Young voting. He has led the league in strikeouts. That was back, however, in 2010. Won 20 games in 2012. 18 games in 2014 to lead the league. But the ERAs have gone up as the velocity's gone down, and he seems like he's at the end of the road. Peralta laces one into right field. This should get Walker home. He's being waved home by Tony Perez-Chica, and he will score. RBI single for Peralta, make it 7-0 Diamondbacks.
Another pitch up in the middle of the plate for David Peralta. Hits a hard ground ball through that right side. Hunter Renfroe throws pretty good out there in right field. I wasn't sure if Walker was going to score on that ball or not, but he comes around and easily gets on the plate for the 7th run here in the 1st inning.
Blanco at third. Peralta at first. Here's Goldie, who walked, stole a base, and scored a run his first time. Twelfth man to bat in the top of the 1st inning. Fastball is ball 1.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about Jared Weaver. He's had a really, really good career. It's just really unfortunate to see him at this stage. He just doesn't have the weapons to go out there and compete against seasoned major league hitters.
Yeah, and the reason they signed him was frankly just to get some innings, but he's not been able to go longer than 3-4 innings to start lately. And tonight he couldn't even finish the first.
I didn't ever really see it, but kind of reminds you a little bit of the way Willie Mays kind of tailed off at the end of his career, ended up playing for the Mets, just a shadow of the player that he once was.
Well, they had signed Weaver based on his track record. And it's A.J. Preller, their GM, said, look, that's something he's always done. When he's healthy, he is going to throw innings, but he's not been able to do that. Got a 1-year, $3 million deal, which, by the way, automatically made him the highest paid pitcher on the Padres staff. It's a very, very young staff. And Andy Green has had to scramble all season long now. Goldie ahead 2-0.
Boy, Diamondbacks have done a nice job, obviously already in this ballgame, getting good hitters counts and taking really aggressive swings in those counts.
And the location of some of those pitches, the one to Lamb, the one to Drury, just hanging right there on the tee. Fouled straight back, and it's 2-2. You know what's coming up next?
Ooh.
You ready for this?
Yeah, bring it.
The next pitch. Now, keep in mind, it's still the top of the first inning. Will be the 52nd pitch of the inning.
Yikes.
52 pitches, and we're still going. 2-2 to Goldie. Blanco's at third. Peralta at first. Goldie, when he gets 2 strikes on him, like he does right here, has an on-base percentage of .426, which is the best in baseball.
It's crazy.
A .426 on-base percentage in 2 strike counts. Check swing, foul down the left field line. And this is one of the reasons why you get 2 strikes on him. He just keeps you working.
Had it and lost it. Oh, she was going to give it to a fan anyway.
Even the ball gals are dressed in brown tonight. Here's another 2-2. Came in with a fastball. Full count, 3-2. Well, this will get Peralta started from first. Seven runs on 6 hits, and the top of the first is still going. Peralta takes off. Ball 4. 5th walk. Nope, check that. 4th walk of this top of the first by Padres pitchers. 2 of them to Goldie, and the bases are loaded.
This feels like 5.
Sure does. Well, here's Lamb, who homered his first time up off Jared Weaver, his 10th of the year. Darren Balsley back out to the mound.
You can see Diaz that time really trying to hump up, put a little extra on that fastball to Paul Goldschmidt in a good hitter's count. Just overthrew it at 98, way above the top of the strike zone.
This has all the makings for a big RBI night for Jake Lamb. He's already knocked in 3 with his 10th homer of the year. And he's up there with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The 13th man to bat in the top of the first inning.
Get greedy. You mentioned that some of the D-backs hitters were hoping to come in here to San Diego and try to get fat, jack up those numbers on the road a little bit. So far, a pretty good start to that.
Change up there from Diaz, and it's 1-1. Yeah, I'll say. Not much wind to speak of tonight. It's pretty still here. There is a gentle breeze blowing in from left center field. Fastball in, missed, and Jake's ahead 2-1. Most pitches thrown in 1 inning all season long in the big leagues was Jeremy Guthrie, who threw 68 in 1 inning with the Nationals. That was against the Phillies. That's a foul ball, says Dan Isoni. Guthrie in that start gave up 10 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. So believe it or not, this is nothing.
Well, it's kind of the heartless nature of competitive sports. Nobody's going to feel sorry for the Padres on that third base side of the dugout. I guarantee you that.
So the season high in the big leagues is 68 pitches in 1 inning. Number 60 coming up right here. Takes a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's worked it full 3-2. Yasmani Tomas would be next. Bases loaded, 2 out, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. He walked in a run. Now make it 5 walks in the inning and an 8-0 Diamondback lead.
You knew that was coming.
You know, you kind of did. You just sort of. Wow. You ever seen anything like this?
I can't recall anything quite to this extent. I've seen a lot of bad first innings before, but man, we're halfway through the lineup a second time here in the first inning.
Yasmani Tomas, the 14th Diamondback to bat in the top of the first inning. Tomas walked and scored his first time up, came into the Drury homer. Slider from Diaz missed, and it's a ball and a strike. Greg Stammen has started warming up in the Padre pen. There are already 2 pitchers in. Fouled straight back at 97, and it's 1-2.
That's a good take. We've seen a lot of that from Yasmani lately. That slider that starts on the outer third of the plate, sweeps off the plate away. Earlier this season, he could not lay off of that pitch.
Looks at a pitch inside, and that's the end of the inning. The Diamondbacks send 14 men to the plate in the top of the first. 8 of them score. Lamb a 3-run homer. Drury a 2-run shot. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. It's already 8-0 Diamondbacks. And already staked to the largest of first inning leads is your Ram truck starter for the D-backs. It's the right-hander Taijuan Walker. 3-3 in 8 starts. Taijuan faced these Padres April 27th at Chase Field, and he dominated. Went 8 innings and finished with 11 strikeouts.
He's been let down by his defense his last couple of starts. He's given up 7 earned runs in his last 2 starts. 4 of those were unearned.
Here's the lineup for the Padres, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Manuel Margot leading it off out in center field. Corey Spangenberg in left. Will Myers down at first base. Jan Hervey Solarte at second base. Hunter Renfroe in right field. Ryan Schimpf at third base. Austin Hedges doing the catching with Eric Ibar at short. And we'll see who's on the mound when the next inning starts.
We don't want to commit to anything at this moment. Manuel Margot looks at strike one, 274 with 4 home runs. Fastball missed it. It's 1-1.
This game started 40 minutes ago.
Come on. 8 runs on 6 hits. They sent 14 to the plate in the top of the first. Taijuan behind 2 balls and 1 strike. Margot lifts this in the air. Easy play for Peralta in right field. 1 away. Your eye on defense for the D-backs, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Outfield will be Tomas in left, Blanco in center, David Peralta over in right field. It'll be Jake Lamb and Chris Owings on the left side of the infield with Brandon Drury and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Jeff Mathis will be catching pitches from right-hander Taijuan Walker. Tough sky right now. You may have noticed Gregor Blanco streaking over to right field from his position in center, just in case Peralta had any issues finding that ball in the gray sky.
Beautiful evening here, but yeah, you're right. Very light sky up there. Here's Corey Spangenberg. Just gorgeous. Bright sunny skies all day yesterday and today. Spangenberg 256 and a homer. Spangenberg's been starting games at several different spots for Andy Green. Left field, third base, second base. He's out there in left tonight. He's become pretty valuable that way. He says the more positions you play, the more opportunities you give yourself. More opportunity to get his bat in the lineup is how he looks at it. Same for Andy Green. Former Padre first-round pick. And he's got a one-out walk. Brings up the danger man, Will Myers. Myers has started every game this year, all but one at first base. That's when he was the DH, so he's been the Iron Man. 292 and 11 homers. Only 3 National League players have more hits this year than Will Myers. He's got Spangenberg at first, 1 down. This is a Padres lineup that the numbers suggest. And again, they're just numbers, but it suggests Taijuan Walker that he should dominate these guys like he did last time. Padres have 5 hitters if you count the pitcher spot, all batting .214 or below this year. So this is not exactly murderer's row. Padres are last in the majors, hitting .221 as a team.
Well, I'm sure D-backs fans remember his start against these Padres earlier this season. Just hammered away at this Padres lineup with high fastballs, split changeups in the dirt. Got a lot of very funny looking swings on those high fastballs in that game.
Yeah, there you go. Once you get by Will Myers, and Solarte's a good player. He's always a dangerous hitter. Renfroe can take it deep, but you're looking at Renfroe 214. Schimpf 156, Hedges 214, Ibar 206, then the pitcher spot. Got him. Myers caught looking and he knew it. First strikeout for Taijuan, 2 down.
Right there. Myers obviously looking for something else that time. He just started walking. He didn't even wait for the call from home plate umpire Dan Iasonia.
That's something that Taijuan does extremely well. When he gets 2 strikes on a hitter, he is very good at finishing that hitter off. And Hervé Solarte, the cleanup man tonight. He looks at strike 1. Solarte 238, 3 home runs. Normally a very good hitter, but he's really slumped badly as of late. He's stuck in a 5 for 41 right now. Spangenberg at first, 2 down. There's a tapper to third for Jake Lamb. We are through 1 in San Diego. The Diamondbacks lead the Padres 8-0.
D-backs with an 8-run first inning lead the Padres 8-0. Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more like the first inning, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Different kind of freight train right there. Brandon Drury, who's already homered, leads off the second. Against right-hander Miguel Diaz. Drury's 2-run shot in the first, his 4th of the year. And check is swinging. It's 1-1. That first inning did set some Diamondback history. The most pitches the D-backs have seen in one inning in the history of the franchise. A 66-pitch first. They had never seen that many pitches in any one inning ever. Drury down 1-2.
I think I caught Rick Russell one night. He threw an 86-pitch complete game.
I believe you. Diaz throwing hard up there. High 90s fastballs. Drury stays alive at 1-2. Just able to check his swing on that slider, and it's 2-2. Chris Owings, who doubled and scored his first time up, is on deck. Jeff Mathis after that. Drury takes a big cut at a 99-mile-an-hour fastball and strikes out.
Yeah, Brandon swung at a number of pitches out of the strike zone that at bat. Fouled a couple off. Checked his swing on one. And ended up chasing a pitch that was probably out of the zone for strike 3.
Yeah, we see him do that a lot lately, actually. Chase those fastballs. Chris Owings. CO hits one down the right field line, but it's leaking out of play. 0-2.
You're thinking about Brandon Drury, who is a really good fastball hitter when he swings at strikes. One way to attack a good fastball hitter is to throw him a fastball somewhere he can't hit it hard. That appeared to be possibly what Diaz was doing right there. Up the ladder fastballs, off the plate away fastballs.
Owings drives it to the right field corner. Renfroe won't get there. He plays it off the wall. CO 2 at bats tonight, 2 doubles. Numbers 8 and 9 on the year.
CO showing good opposite field power right there. We've talked about Petco Park in past visits here to San Diego. The ball does usually not carry well at night. Get that marine layer in here. Very moist, wet air. But CO bangs one off that right field wall on a hop for his second double of the game.
7th hit for the Diamondbacks. Here's Jeff Mathis. Grounded out his first time up. Jeff doubled and scored a run in his start behind the plate in Tuesday's win over the Mets. Had 2 hits, including a home run in the win Monday against New York. Diamondbacks swept all 3. Finished 6-3 on that homestand. Popped it up first base side. Here comes Myers, and he's under it in foul ground. 2 outs.
I know a lot of people will say, well, yeah, but the last 3 against the Mets, you should sweep them. Well, that's right. When you catch a team that's down, a good team just buries them and moves along. You don't worry about the Mets getting the dark night turned around or getting their offense going. You just beat them as often as you can and send them out of town. Diamondbacks didn't get to make the schedule. They just play the teams that show up.
Well, that's the thing about this stretch now. It's 22 of 31 on the road, but if you want to take a smaller sample size, 14 of the next 17 on the road. The exception being that 3-game series against the White Sox Monday through Wednesday of next week. But they're all against teams the Diamondbacks should be able to handle. You just swept the Mets like you should. At least win every series. And they've got their foot on the Padres' throats here to start this one off. After that, it's the Brewers. Diamondbacks always hit well at Miller Park. We just saw the Pirates. They're certainly nothing special. And the Marlins aren't doing much either. And the Diamondbacks seem to play well at Marlins Park, too. Taiwan's 2 for 2. That bounces into center. Here comes Owing. Here's the throw from Margot, and he is out of there. Austin Hedges applies the tag. Manuel Margot the throw. And that ends the inning.
Second, Jody Jackson with you. Diamondbacks started this week a little banged up, but it hasn't stopped them from sweeping the Mets, and it hasn't stopped them from putting up 8 runs here. Peralta is back in the lineup after that right glute injury. A.J. Pollock's back in the valley, strained right groin. He's eligible to come off the DL Wednesday. Troy Lovello said it's too early to say whether he would or not. He's taking it easy and not testing it. Chris Iannetta, though, guys, I talked to him today in the clubhouse. He is ready to go. He's eligible to come off the DL tomorrow. Looking good. He does have some dental work in his future, and that may take a couple of weeks. It'll be over a little bit of time, but he said there's really no mental carryover. He is going to wear a protective flap, though, on the helmet to protect his face for maybe a month or so. He does feel extremely lucky, though, guys, that he'll be able to come back and play as early as tomorrow.
You know, Jody, it's remarkable. When you look at the picture, that still photo of the ball hitting Chris square in the mouth, it's amazing to think that he might be back in 7 days.
It really is. I mean, obviously a quick healer, but also a short memory. If you can forget that and move along, more power to you.
Taiwan Walker back out for the bottom of the second. Hunter Renfroe leads it off. Renfroe 214. He's got power, 8 home runs. Rookie right fielder. In fact, he has homered in 3 of his last 5 games, including a home run here yesterday in the Padres loss to the Brewers. Renfroe hit a walk-off homer in that series Monday night, 10th inning. Beat Milwaukee. Taiwan jumps ahead 1-2. Taiwan's road ERA now just below 3, 2.95 as of this moment. And for Taijuan Walker, it's already his first career multi-hit game. He's got a pair of singles and 1 RBI. Last Diamondback pitcher with a multi-hit game, Robbie Ray against the Marlins last June. That's foul right in front of first base coach Johnny Washington.
Well, you'd have to say that so far, Taijuan Walker pitching to the scoreboard. He's thrown 20 pitches in this game so far, all fastballs.
You know, after what we watched last time, I find that kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Remember that game against the Pirates at Chase Field where Taijuan used a steady supply of curveballs rather than that dominant fastball, especially first pitch curveballs or curves early in counts. And he said that was all part of the plan against the Pirates. Something we rarely see. Renfroe gets into another one here. It backs up Peralta, and he's got room just shy of the wall out there. One away. Pretty well struck ball off the bat of Hunter Renfroe. Taijuan in that game against Pittsburgh threw just over 20 curveballs, which is about 3 times as many in one game as he normally throws. And his numbers on breaking balls and off-speed pitches this year, they're not that great. When he's throwing those pitches, they're strikes barely half the time, and when they're not, the hitters are not chasing them out of the zone.
It makes you wonder if perhaps the advance report on the Pirates said throw them as many breaking balls as you possibly can. They're a good fastball hitting team, but it gets to be that age-old question. Do you go after the hitter's weakness, or do you use your strength on the mound?
Well, Taijuan's strength, that powerful fastball, is so dominant at times that it was very unusual to see him get that far away from it in his last start. D-backs have the shift on for Ryan Schimpf, the third baseman tonight. And Walker's behind 3-0. Schimpf batting 156 with 9 homers. One of those home runs came off Taijuan Walker last month at Chase Field. But this is a guy who walks a lot and strikes out a lot, Ryan Schimpf. He's doing his thing with the long ball again this year. He's only got 19 hits all season, but 9 of them are home runs. He leads the Padres both in walks and strikeouts. There's a lot of swing and miss in Ryan Schimpf's game. He singled in their loss to the Brewers here yesterday. That snapped an 0 for 19 skid for him. In fact, Schimpf this year has more walks than hits. And he gets into one. A high fly ball just shy of the warning track for Peralta. 2 outs.
When you watch Ryan Schimpf swing, first of all, he's not a very tall guy. He hits out of an exaggerated crouch, and he has an uppercut. He's definitely trying to get the ball in the air, specifically to right field. That time just a little bit short.
He is the king of launch angle.
Yeah.
According to StatCast, Ryan Schimpf, everything is up in the air if he makes contact. Here's Austin Hedges, the catcher. 214, 8 home runs. No catcher in baseball has more homers. And no catcher in the league has more runs batted in than Austin Hedges.
Yeah, first curveball there from Taijuan Walker. He has thrown 1 slider, so 2 breaking balls of 29 pitches.
And a first pitch curveball, something we saw a lot of against the Pirates last week. Stayed off speed again. That might have been the cutter or the slider that he's been throwing. It's 0-2. Hedges barrels one up, a base hit into left. First hit for the Padres tonight, a 2-out single. Well, here is the troublesome Eric Ibar. He's hitting only .206, 4 home runs, already more homers than he had all of last year, but 2 of those 4 homers have come against the Diamondbacks. You remember, of course, the one he hit here and that 0-0 8th inning off Zach Greinke that turned out to be the only run of that game. And Ibar is doing little to nothing offensively, except against the D-backs, it seems. He's hitting .304 versus the Diamondbacks this year.
That's pretty much the case with Taijuan Walker against Eric Ibar. The rest of this lineup for the Padres is hitting .167 against Taijuan Walker. Eric Ibar's 4 for 10.
That foot on the back line. Pitcher spot is due up next for San Diego, and Caesar is on deck. Hale Caesar, the former Cub. Matt Caesar traded to San Diego just a couple of weeks ago. Bullpen still busy for the Padres. 2-1 to Eric Ibar. Changeup missed. It's 3-1. There's Matt Caesar. Second walk of the ball game issued by Taijuan Walker. 2 on and 2 out for Caesar. Matt Caesar, the former Cub, batting .238 with a home run. He's been bothered a bit lately by a sore right ankle. Hedge is the catcher at second, and Ibar at first. Caesar hitting for the pitcher Diaz. 0-1.
Caesar's probably looking at this as a great opportunity to perhaps earn some playing time with a struggling ball club. He just couldn't seem to crack the lineup with the Cubs. They had so many prospects that moved up the totem pole ahead of Matt Caesar. He never really got a full opportunity to be an everyday player.
Well, he's got an opportunity here. The Padres are a little short on outfielders. Travis Jankowski has a broken foot, their center fielder. Alex Dickerson has missed the whole year with back trouble. Caesar 6 for 23, just 8 games with the Padres, including his homer. That one tied him up. Foul tip. Mathis hangs on, and it's 1-2. Caesar just over 100 games with the Cubs last year during their World Series run. He hit .259, 5 homers, got himself a ring.
A lot of his playing time was off the bench late as a defensive replacement, a pinch runner late in the ball game if the Cubs needed to come back.
There's a bouncer to Drury at second. Taijuan Walker strands 2. We head to the third. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 8-0. Here at Petco Park, set for the third inning. Hey fans, plan ahead to be at Chase Field coming up Saturday, June 10th when the Diamondbacks take on the Brewers. First 20,000 fans get the D-backs pool towel. That's courtesy of Gila River Casinos. The towel, this is a quality item. It's soft, it's nice, it's big, perfect for the pool or even the beach this summer. So get your tickets at dbacks.com. Gregor Blanco leads off the third against the new pitcher for the Padres, the right-hander Craig Stammen. How about this? This might be the stat of the night. This is Blanco's third at bat of the game already, leading off the third inning, and he's facing his third different pitcher. The numbers on Stammen, a 5.85 ERA, his 15th appearance. Blanco faced both Weaver and Diaz in the first, and now Stammen to lead off the third. He has singled, walked, and scored twice. If you're just joining us, where have you been? Diamondbacks scored 8 runs in the first inning. Sent 14 men to the plate and an 8-run first. Home runs by Lamb and Drury. Two and two to Gregor Blanco.
6 hits and 5 walks in the first.
That'll keep the line moving.
We had that shot of David Peralta in the on-deck circle. Had that stick of adhesive that he was putting on just above the tape right there. You see that yellow tape on the handle of his bat, and you can see that little discoloration just above it, right there where his left hand went. That's the only place he puts that sticker. Other guys have pine tar slopped all the way up the handle to the trademark. We watch Goldie. He puts the pine tar up there, but only touches his fingertips into it. Everybody has a little bit of a different routine in that on-deck circle.
Stammen sneaks the fastball in there. One away. Now it's time for the Mini Countryman player profile. Diamondback players this year batting second and third are hitting a combined nearly .330. Peralta has an RBI single. He's 1 for 2. Broken bat roller the other way. Ibar at shortstop scoops it up, throws him out, 2 down. Two up, 2 down for Stammen. Here's Goldie, who was walked twice and scored a run. Diamondbacks tonight trying to get to 7 games over 500. It would be 25-18 with a win. Trying to keep pace with the Rockies. They start tonight 2 games behind Colorado for the NL West lead. Rockies are beating up somebody again tonight. They beat the Reds 12-6 at Good American Ballpark in Cincinnati.
Two walks in an inning in franchise history. Goldie did it tonight. Cody Ross, Orlando Hudson, and of course a catcher, Chris Snyder.
Well, appropriate that Goldie did it tonight. He's leading the major leagues in bases on balls. That's out of play. Goldie's never hit a ton in this ballpark. He's about a .250 career hitter in 46 games at Petco. He has homered here 9 times.
Back up with a fastball.
Oh, that's another Goldie foul ball headed for the third deck. A skyscraper. Hammond gets him to chase that one. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Diamondbacks lead it 8-0. Lead the Padres 8-0. Taijuan Walker out there for his third inning of work. Time now for the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Most games with at least 10 strikeouts by pitchers this year. The Diamondbacks near the top of the list with 21. Taijuan so far has struck out 1. He's walked 2. Manuel Margot, the rookie center fielder, leads off the Padre third. Margot leads all major league rookies in hits and stolen bases. Flying out his first time up. Taijuan's given up just 1 hit, and Austin Hedges single in the second. Margot trying to bunt his way on. Walker picks it up, turns and throws. Margot can really get up the line. Close play at first, but Trick Gibson says safe.
What a nice play by Taijuan Walker, whether they got the man at first or not. He really got off that mound quickly. A barehanded play. Fired an off-balance strike to Goldie. The speed of Margot turned this into a base hit. You don't see many pitchers get off the mound like that.
Terrific play. Made it really close. That's a big part of Margot's game, that speed element. So he's got a leadoff single. Here's Corey Spangenberg. Hasn't had a whole lot of success stealing bases, actually. He's only 5 for 10 this year. Spangenberg walked his first time up. Changeup is in there, and it's 0-1. Late on a fastball, 0-2. Spangenberg only 14 games with the Padres last year. Went down very early in the season with a left quad strain. Didn't play a game after April 19th. Broken bat. That one went through Taijuan. Owings for 1, and he turns it. There's some COD for you. Chris Owings quickly 2 down.
Quite nicely done. Chris Owings has to range far to his left here. The mound, and Taijuan Walker may have slowed that ball down just enough for CO to take that play by himself. Scoop, step, and throw all in one motion.
And Spangenberg, very athletic, runs well himself. Base is empty, 2 down for Will Myers, who struck out looking in his first at bat tonight. You know, Taijuan, for a guy who seems like a strikeout pitcher, and certainly puts up the numbers that way, also gets his fair share of ground ball outs, especially in big spots when he really needs them. Here's Mike Butcher, the pitching coach.
Well, 3 of his 4 main pitches have a lot of downward movement. That split changeup, the slider, the curveball, all breaking down toward the ground as they get into the hitting zone. Really, it's just that 4-seamer up that gets a lot of fly balls and swings and misses.
Well, staying away from Myers. Myers does well against inside fastballs, so you can't jam him in there like you can some other guys. And he's good at driving fastballs away. He'll go to right and right center with those pitches. Tough guy to pitch to. Went away but kept it down and missed at 97, and it's 3-1. Only 3 National League players have more hits this year than Will Myers. Taijuan at 50 pitches, 30 strikes. On hop to Brandon Drury, who collects that on the outfield grass. 3 ground ball outs in the inning for Taijuan Walker, who leads at 8-0. Set for the 4th inning here. Jake Lamb will lead it off against Craig Stammen. 8-0 Diamondbacks, and 8-run D-backs first. Home runs in that inning by Lamb and Drury. This is Jake Lamb in the first, his 10th of the year. No doubter. Deep to right off Jared Weaver, our Cox. High-speed highlights. Lamb a 3-run shot, Drury a 2-run home run. D-backs 8 runs on 8 hits. So make it now for Lamb a 7-game hitting streak. He's homered now in 3 consecutive games. Padres have the shift on, and it's 1-2. Schimpf, the third baseman, standing in the second base spot. Solarte out there in the outfield grass. 2-2 on Jake Lamb. There's Ryan Schimpf, the third baseman, right in front of second base umpire Ramon De Jesus. They give Lamb the entire left side. Yes, he went. Brian Gorman rings him up. So Stamina's come on and struck out 3 of the 4 he's faced. That brings up Yasmani Tomas. Tomas has walked and struck out. First pitch swinging. Fly ball, very short right. Hunter Renfroe coming in. 2 downs.
Hey fans, RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at RBIGame.com.
Brandon Drury, a 2-run homer, his 4th of the year. Struck out his last time up. Some of us today, including some of the Diamondback players, got to go over to the Sony studios here in San Diego where they make the MLB The Show video game.
Yeah, it looked very interesting. You were showing me some pictures.
Yeah. It was cool, man. Andrew Chafin, Zach Godley, Ray Fuentes went over there. Some of the TV crew as well, and got to see how they put that amazing video game together. Did all the animations. It took scans of the players' faces for the game next year.
What'd you say? There were 57 different cameras from all different angles or something like that?
That's just for the face.
Just
yeah,
for the face.
They sit you down and they have I think it's 63 still cameras all around you, just to get the scans of the face and the head in the game so that the video player looks like the actual guy. And then they take you out to this massive sound stage, which is where they shoot some movies out there. And they have the guy in the suit with all the dots all over him, and he jumps around and swings and runs, and that's how they get the animations. And they were trying to get Ray Fuentes' batting stance just for the game. This is some of the video from today. Yeah, that's where they do the face scans right there. I am in the game as a fan. How about that? They make you do all these goofy faces for fan reaction shots. And there's my wife laughing at me. Nothing new with that. But it was an amazing look at that studio. They do a tremendous job of that video game. So now here's the deal. In the 2018 game, you know, all the fans, it's very intricate, the backgrounds, all the stadiums and everything. And so occasionally you'll see a fan that looks just like me, which is kind of horrifying. Chafin was giving me a hard time. He's like, "What's with that face?" I said, "That's the face I make when you pitch." But we had a good time. Very elaborate studio. Brandon Drury strikes out. Well, Stamin's got it going. He's got 4 strikeouts and 6 batters, but the D-backs have an 8-0 lead. Diamondbacks here at Petco Park. Hey, D-backs fans, don't forget, stop by your local Fry's food store and stock up on your favorite Pepsi products using your VIP card. You'll earn D-backs rewards points, and you could also win one of 6 suites to an upcoming D-backs game, courtesy of Pepsi. See in-store display for official rules and details. Aaron Hervis Solarte leads off the 4th against Taijuan Walker. Solarte grounded out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. An 8-run Diamondback first inning. Taijuan threw 351 pitches. The Padres in the top of the first as a team threw 66. Diamondbacks sent 14 men to the plate in that first inning. Here's a tricky one. Walker hustles over there. Good job by Taijuan to get on it. Goldie throws him out, 1 down. Taijuan's a great basketball player, and he moves really well for a big dude out there.
He really does. His feet work extremely well for a big, tall man out there on the mound. That was a tough play. A little slow hit ground ball to the right side. Goldie knew he was going to have to hurry and just trust that Walker was going to get to the base just in time for the out.
Taijuan so far has given up only 2 hits, both singles. He has walked 2, struck out 1. Here's Hunter Renfroe, who flied out deep to right his first time up. Renfroe's been fairly quiet versus the D-backs so far this year. 5 for 27, 1 homer. But a hot bat as of late. 2 homers in their series against the Brewers here this week, including a walk-off on Monday night. A little tapper out in front of the plate. Mathis quickly pounces on it. Boy, he does that play or executes that play just about as well as anybody. He's on it so quickly.
He's so quick getting out of his crouch, getting after that ground ball, not afraid to take charge and call the pitcher off on that play. He actually kind of overruns it a little bit, so his body's in a better position once he does pick it up to wheel around and fire to Goldie for the out.
He'll put the shift on for Ryan Schimpf, so it's a Schimpf shift. Lamb all by himself midway between 2nd and 3rd. Schimpf flied out his first time up. Ryan Schimpf, 3rd in the National League in strikeouts. He has struck out this year 51 times in 123 at bats. That's a lot of punchies.
That's a lot of punch outs. .35% of his plate appearances have ended with a strikeout. That ranks 207th out of 210 full-time hitters in the major leagues.
Lays off that high fastball, and it's 2-2. The other thing is, for a guy that strikes out all the time, he also walks a lot. He's got more walks than hits this year. Leads the Padres in bases on balls. He's up there taking his cuts. Lays off a cutter, and it's full 3-2. "20 home runs in a half season with San Diego last year." Austin Hedges, the catcher, on deck. Lays off another high fastball. There's another base on balls for Schimpf. The 3rd walk tonight for Taijuan Walker. That's a pitch that a lot of guys normally chase.
Yeah.
Back-to-back high fastballs and 2 strike counts. Hedges singled his first time up. Now Hedges is a guy who will chase that hard fastball up and out of the zone. He's been doing that a lot lately. That fastball got away from Walker, and it's 1-1. So Taijuan Walker threw 3 2/3 at 66 pitches. The Padres in the first inning as a team threw 66 pitches. Edges waves at that one. Taijuan has his second strikeout. We head to the 5th inning. It's 8-0 Diamondbacks.
Owings set to lead off. He has 2 doubles on the night. Jeff Mathis, he's 0 for 2 tonight, but credit where credit is due for Mathis. During the homestand, 6 for 16, 2 doubles, a home run, and 2 walks. Torey Lovullo said he's been grinding away at the offense, but it is a credit to him. He's never taken it over to the defensive side of the game or to the game-calling side, and he's been working on some things. No one wants to give them away quite yet, but with Dave Magadan, and they feel that they are paying off right now.
No question about that, Jody. Mathis' bat has been very productive lately. Here's Owings, 3 for 3. Rolls one into right center, a leadoff single here in the 5th. Stammen had retired all 6 he'd faced before that. And here is Jeff Mathis, who is 0 for 2 tonight, but he's hit safely in 6 of his last 8 starts.
Well, that base hit will put Stammen into the stretch. He hasn't had to pitch out of the stretch since coming into the ball game.
That makes him unique among Padre pitchers tonight.
Yes, indeed it does.
Jeff had that home run Monday against the Mets. Doubled and scored a run in his start the following night. That's on a play, and it's 0-2. Called strike 3. 5th strikeout for Craig Stammen, 1 down.
Apparently pitching out of the stretch doesn't bother Stammen very much. Comes right back to strike out Jeff Mathis.
Taijuan Walker so far 2 for 2. He had an RBI single in that long first inning. Had another single in his at bat in the second. Chris Owings was thrown out at home plate trying to score. If not for that, Taijuan would have a pair of RBI singles.
And on that play at the plate, it appeared to me that Chris Owings ran through a stop sign down at third base. Big lead in the ball game, and Tony Perez-Chica was not necessarily going to call off the dogs, but you don't want to run a guy into an out at home plate with a big lead in the game.
Taijuan skies one to left. Corey Spangenberg drifting near the line. 2 down. Gregor Blanco in the leadoff spot tonight. And he's done what leadoff guys are supposed to do. Get on base. A single a walk. He scored twice. Also stolen a base.
And also as a leadoff hitter, you're supposed to take your time getting up to the plate after your pitcher's made an out. So Gregor Blanco stood in the on-deck circle until Taijuan got all the way back to the third base dugout before making his way up to the plate.
Dodgers are hosting the Marlins tonight. LA leads at 5-0. They're in the 5th. Giants trail at St. Louis 5-4. They're in the 8th. Rockies 12-6 winners in Cincinnati tonight. Dodgers got some bad news. Justin Turner has a hamstring strain. He's going to be out for a while. D-backs began today only 2 games out of the lead in the NL West, trailing Colorado just ahead of LA. Padres in this division bringing up the rear. Already 13 games under 500. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2 on Blanco. Fouled away. Gregor Blanco up there from Venezuela. He has 2 brothers. Their names are Gregory and Gregsman.
Sounds like the George Foreman family.
That's right. Or Rugnet Odor, who's every male in the family is named Rugnet. He looks at a fastball. Stammen with 6 strikeouts in 3 innings. He's holding down the fort, but the Diamondbacks hold an 8-0 lead. Padres fifth inning. Diamondbacks have an 8-0 lead. Hey, D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Just download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona. And your D-backs with you wherever you go. Ibar swings at the first pitch, lifts it in the air to left center field. And there's Yasmani Tomas. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Boy, that used to be a big time no-no right there, trailing by 8 runs in the middle of a ball game to swing at the first pitch. Yeah, it used to be standard operating procedure to take until you get a strike when you're trailing by 8 runs in a ball game, but Ibar liked that first delivery from Taijuan Walker and took a hack at it.
8-0 down. You need base runners, not quick outs. There's strike 1. Stammen, the pitcher, will hit for himself here. Well, he's done a good job since he came in. He's worked 3 innings, given up just 1 hit, and struck out 6. Little tapper back to the mound. Taijuan has it. 2 outs.
Hey fans, the day after every Diamondbacks win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com.
Just 2 hits given up by Taijuan Walker so far, both singles. 2 down in the 5th, and here's the leadoff man, Manuel Margot, who singled his last time up. On his way on safely for a base hit. Taijuan Walker's results lately been a little erratic, winless in his last 3 starts. He has been the victim, much more so than any other starting pitcher, of some occasionally shaky defense behind him. And that seemed to have followed him around a little bit as of late. And the command has been off a bit too. Walked 5 in Washington in his first start this month, and walked 3 in his loss to the Pirates last Saturday. Three starts in May, given up 20 hits in 16 1/3, but just 2 singles so far tonight. Margot knocks one the other way, foul. Full count, 3-2, broken bat. Manuel Margot, very hot rookie. Hit .304 with AAA El Paso last year. He was MVP of the Pacific Coast League playoffs. Had 10 games last September in the big leagues. Drives this one to center right at Blanco. And 1, 2, 3, 5th for Taijuan Walker. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 8-0. in San David Peralta set to lead off the 6th inning. Time now for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. We'll be in Milwaukee next Thursday to start a 4-game series. The Brewers, the surprise leaders in the National League Central, will also be in Minnesota later this year, where the Twins are the surprise leaders in the AL Central.
D-backs and Brewers had identical records going into play today. The Brewers had a lengthy rain delay at Wrigley Field before eventually beating the Cubs this afternoon.
Yeah, the Brewers just took the last 3 games here against the Padres, including a game yesterday afternoon. And they had to fly to Chicago, play day game again today against the Cubs.
Well, I don't know if you had a chance to see any of that ball game today. It looked absolutely miserable at Wrigley Field. Misty rain falling all day, wind howling, cold temperatures.
You know, it's funny. When it's nice at that ballpark, it's as nice as it gets. But boy, they can have some really ugly weather blow in there any time of year.
Yeah.
I mean, wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald type weather coming in off the lake. Not the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Greg Stammen so far 6 strikeouts, ties his career high for a relief outing. He's done a good job so far. Giving up just 1 hit, an Owings single in the 5th. Good to see David back in the starting lineup tonight. He was hitless in 3 pinch hit attempts in the sweep of the Mets this week after he had that big series against Pittsburgh, but had to leave the game on Sunday with tightness in his right glute. Shift is on against Peralta. Peralta sends one out of here, way back and gone. David Peralta, that's number 4, and it's 9-0 Diamondbacks. Third Diamondback home run tonight.
A couple of them have been no doubters to right field. Jake Lamb's way back in right, and now David Peralta follows suit. Very nearly hits it down that walkway up there. He does hit it down the walkway.
Goldie hitless so far tonight. He has walked twice. A jumbo jack off the bat of David Peralta. Free jumbo jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink at Jack in the Box. Lamb and Drury in the 1st, now Peralta in the 6th. 0-2 on Goldie. 416 feet on the Peralta homer. 416. Both of Goldie's walks tonight came in that long 1st inning. Diamondbacks sent 14 men to the plate in the top of the 1st. Jared Weaver got only 2 outs. He was gone by the time they rolled around the 2nd time through in that inning. Nine runs on 10 hits so far.
I mentioned a couple of no doubters to right field. Jake Lamb's home run was in the same spot but went 1 foot farther.
Very specific and exact. David, after having to sit out most of that last series, will certainly take that.
Yeah, every guy that's used to playing regularly, when you sit out 2 or 3 days in a row, you're always a little concerned. Am I going to feel the way I did before I missed those 3 games, or am I going to have to fight my way back? It looks like David's back.
And that is good news considering the stretch of road games that's ahead for the Diamondbacks. They will play 22 of their next 31 games on the road beginning tonight. We are at Petco Park in San Diego. 3 games here, then quickly back home for 3 against the White Sox. Roof should be open Monday and Tuesday nights. They'll open up that 3-game set against Chicago, then right back on the road. Goldie looks at strike 3. 7 strikeouts for Stammen. Here's Jake Lamb, who has homered, walked, and struck out. His walk in that first inning came with the bases loaded, so it's a 4 RBI night for Jake after his 3-run homer. Don't forget, fans, that series against the White Sox Monday through Wednesday, one of your few chances over the next calendar month to see your D-backs at Chase Field. So get your tickets at dbacks.com. Roof should be open Monday and Tuesday night. Zach Greinke on the mound Monday against the White Sox. And then after that, it's right back on the road, a long 11-gamer. 4 in Milwaukee, 3 in Pittsburgh, and 4 in Miami. 14 of the next 17 on the road. No, we didn't, Brian Gorman. Two and two. There is action in the Padre bullpen. Stammen on in relief. Now at 53 pitches, 40 for strikes. Tomas on deck.
Little cat and mouse game there as Jake Lamb was running down the first baseline. The ball was clearly foul, but Padres let it roll as far as they thought they could before touching it in foul territory, just in case Jake broke it down early and the ball happened to come back into fair territory. Get an easy out at first base, but as Jake ran past Will Myers, he decided, I better touch that one in foul territory right now.
Not a Diamondback Padre game unless Kevin Quackenbush pitches. He's warming up for the Padre pen. Fastball missed in, full count 3-2.
Well, regardless of what happens the rest of this ball game, I guarantee you Andy Green is going to have a lot of complimentary things to say about Craig Stammen and his performance tonight under the circumstances. Well, you look at what happened in that first inning, and as a manager, you're thinking, geez, I'm going to have to use the whole bullpen tonight. And then Stammen comes in and does what he's done up to this point.
He's in his 4th inning of relief. He's given up just 2 hits, including the Peralta homer, but he struck out 7. Two strikeouts in each of his first 3 innings of work tonight. Just struck out Goldie. Now he's 3-2 on Lamb. Jake drives one pretty deep center field. Manuel Margot at the wall, and it's gone. Jake Lamb, his 2nd home run tonight. That's his 11th of the year. And the Diamondbacks lead it 10-0.
Fourth home run of the ball game for the Diamondbacks, 2nd for Jake Lamb. And there have been 3-game series here at Petco Park where both teams didn't hit 4 home runs.
Andy Green going out to get Stammen. That's going to be it. Yeah, you're right. The ball is carrying here a little bit tonight. 10-0 D-backs. Back after this. have as many hits tonight as Jake Lamb has home runs. 10-0 Diamondbacks. And we're still in the top of the 6th, and here is the requisite relief appearance of the right-hander Kevin Quackenbush. Back up from AAA El Paso, his 4th call-up of the year already. And it's only the middle of May. Diamondbacks with 4 homers tonight, 2 of them by Jake Lamb. He has 5 RBIs, 2 in this inning, Peralta and Lamb. Yasmani Tomas, first pitch, he rolls it up the middle. First base hit for Yasmani tonight. That makes Goldie and Mathis the only Diamondbacks without base hits so far tonight. And it brings up Brandon Drury, who hit a 2-run home run in the first.
You mentioned Goldie doesn't have a hit, but he scored a run. He's walked twice and stolen a base. He always gets involved somehow. We like it when he's getting his base hits to go along with the walks, but if you put him on base, he'll find a way to get on the plate.
Leading the majors in walks. By the way, this is tonight the first ever multi-home run game for Jake Lamb. Numbers 10 and 11 on the year. There's Jake. Curveball from Quackenbush, and it's 1-1. Drury's home run in the first off Jared Weaver, a no-doubter out underneath that big scoreboard in left field, his 4th of the year.
Yeah, I mentioned the 2 tape measure blast to right field by Peralta and Lamb, but Brandon Drury touched one off to left field. A long way. We've talked about this ballpark in the past. It just doesn't carry well here for night games usually. The Diamondbacks making Petco Park look small tonight.
There are. Lays off a low fastball, and it's 2-2. Lamb with 2 home runs, Peralta with 1, Drury with 1. 10 runs on 12 hits. Brandon takes a wild swing at that, strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. 2 down in the 6th. That brings up Chris Owings, who's 3 for 3. CO tonight, 2 doubles and a single. He scored a run. All he's done lately is hit, Chris Owings. That OPS 872. That's more than 100 points better than his OPS last year. OPS, of course, on base percentage plus slugging percentage. So CO's now hit safely in 5 straight games and 9 of his last 10. And he's batting close to 400 over that stretch. 1-1. Bounced in the hole. Ryan Schimpf in front of Ibar. Diamondbacks add 2 more. Homers by Peralta and Lamb have made it 10-0. 5 scoreless innings, he's given up only 2 hits, holding a 10-0 lead. Hey fans, Mother's Day was just this past Sunday. Soon it'll be Father's Day. Here are the Webbers in the house. Jim and Cindy, along with my Cindy. D-backs will celebrate dads with a Dad's Day special event Sunday, June 25th. Fans who buy this special ticket package for Dad get a ticket to the game and a D-backs Dad cap. Get your tickets now at dbacks.com/dad. Corey Spangenberg rolls one to second. Drury's there, quickly one down. Always good to see the Webbers here whenever we play in San Diego. Jim and Cindy always make the trip. Josh Rowich down there with him as well.
Jim makes a few other trips as well, but this is a regular here.
Daniel Descalso takes over at first base for Goldie, who has the rest of the night off. Will Myers 0 for 2. Myers has struck out, grounded out. Now, Torey Lovullo has the target set, and he insists he's going to stick to it of 1 day off per month for Goldie. I guess this counts as a half day. Maybe we'll get another blowout win. He takes the other half day off, and then we're clear for May.
Torey's done a nice job of trying to pick spots where there's a travel day or a scheduled off day or a night game following a day game to try to give guys the maximum amount of time between actually playing in a ball game.
Well, tonight's going to be an opportunity to work some of those guys in. Starting with Descalso. Stays 1 and 2 on Will Myers. Myers has homered in 4 of his last 9 games. He's had a hot bat lately. Quiet so far tonight. That's out of play. Padres in the throwback brown and gold tonight. Oh, Myers drives one deep right center field. Peralta at the wall, and he got it! David Peralta, wow! Nothing's going right for the Padres tonight. It's all Diamondbacks. David Peralta, a home run in the top half of this inning, and that spectacular catch in the home half.
Well, Myers has good opposite field power. Looked like he was going to drive one out of here, but our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing cool play of the game. David Peralta taking a home run, possibly a home run. Extra bases for sure away from Will Myers.
Tip of the cap, wag of the finger. David Peralta. Applause, applause. What a play. Here's Solarte. Boy, Myers smoked that ball the other way. That was deep to right center field. Peralta shaking that hand a little bit, the right glove hand. He went into that wall pretty hard. Mathis hangs on. A 1-2-3 inning for Taijuan Walker with some help from his right fielder. 7th inning on the way. It's 10-0 Diamondbacks.
The scoreboard 10-0 as we head to the top of the 7th. Time to take a look at our This Day in Baseball History, brought to you by Geico. We go back to the 1915 season when a genius, Pirates player manager Fred Clark, files the patent for flip-down sunglasses designed to be used in the outfield on bright sunny days.
Well, you know what's great about you? You have your hot button issues, and you stick to them.
That's right.
Jeff Mathis.
Now, Fred was a marketing genius because he said they're also good for motorists. You know, you think about driving in Arizona, you turn west in the afternoon and that sun comes through the windshield, you can't see a thing. If you had those flip down shades on, you'd be set. Plus you could catch a pop-up.
Well, we saw Jake Lamb wearing some of those the other day. Now, where he screwed up was not good. They should be called Clark's, right? Or Clark glasses or something.
Branding is everything. Yeah.
All kinds of changes on both sides here with the game 10-0. Nick Ahmed is in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot is due up next. Alan Cordoba has taken over in left field for the Padres. Corey Spangenberg moves from left field to second base. Solarte goes from second to first, and Will Myers comes out of the game. And this is going to be it. 6 scoreless innings for Taijuan Walker. There's Cordoba, the Rule 5 pick in left field. Spangenberg to second, Solarte at first. There's a tap at a Rybar at shortstop. One away. Mathis 0 for 4. And Ahmed will hit for the pitcher Walker. So Taijuan Walker, 6 scoreless innings. He gave up only 2 hits. Walked 3, struck out 3. And Ahmed will take the at bat. Nick at 253 with 4 homers.
A lot of fans have been saying for years, and we've said it up here in the booth a few times, if Nick could just hit 250. Well, he's hitting 253 before this at bat, including some power.
Yeah, he's had a very productive month at the plate, Nick Ahmed, hitting an even 300 in May with 3 home runs. OPS for Nick up more than 160 points from last year. Fastball missed away, and it's 2-2. Ten runs on 12 hits for the Diamondbacks. No runs on 2 hits for the Padres. Ahmed sends one into the left field corner. Cordoba out there picks it up on the warning track, and Nick pulls into second with a double.
I think you'd have to say the book on Nick Ahmed last year was throw him a lot of breaking balls, but when you throw those breaking balls in the strike zone, he has been hammering them this year. Catches up to that breaking ball, pulls it down into the left field corner. Easy double.
Gregor Blanco, the leadoff man, has singled, walked, and struck out twice tonight. Fouled back, and it's 0-2. So Blanco now with, let's see, 4 hits. And 3 RBIs in his last 3 starts for the Diamondbacks. 1 in left field and 2 in center. He's already started games at all 3 outfield spots this year. Popped up behind shortstop. Schimpf gives way to Ibar. 2 outs. Well, it's been a highlight reel night for David Peralta. An RBI single in that 8-run first. A home run in the top of the 6th and a spectacular catch against the wall in right center field in the home half of the 6th inning.
I think that might have been a home run.
Off the bat of Will Myers.
Boy, nice timing on his leap there.
Two outs. Ahmed at second base. 2-0 on David Peralta. 2 for 4 tonight. He's knocked in 2. Curveball's in there, and it's 2-1. Dodgers still lead the Marlins 5-0 in the 8th inning. Giants 6-5 winners in St. Louis tonight. They beat the Cardinals behind Matt Moore. Rockies beat up the Reds in Cincinnati, Colorado. If both these final scores hold up, will remain 2 games ahead of the Diamondbacks for the lead in the NL West. 12-6 the final at Good American Ballpark in Cincinnati. 3-1 to Peralta. Ball 4. David aboard for the 3rd time tonight. First walk issued by Kevin Quackenbush. Daniel Descalso's first at bat tonight. He took over at first base for Goldie. He was getting a half day with a 10-0 lead. Descalso 177 and 3 homers. Ahmed at second, Peralta at first. 2 outs. One and one.
A couple of other interesting this day in baseball history. Back in 1956, Dale Long hit a home run at Forbes Field.
He was a left-handed catcher, Dale Long.
The first in a string of 8 games in a row with a home run for Dale Long.
It was a good run.
Yeah, real good run. Don Mattingly also did it. Ken Griffey Jr. with the Mariners did it.
One of few left-handed catchers in big league history.
Guy that used to be with, I think he did it. I don't remember which team. Mike Squires was a
White Sox.
White Sox. Yeah, he went behind the plate one time in an emergency.
Yeah, Squires played all over. Back in the glory days of the late 70s when the White Sox wore those Bill Veeck uniforms. Those were sweet. Eric Soderholm at third. Mike Squires.
Shorts with a uniform shirt with a collar on it.
The collar was cool. Ralph Garr played on those teams. That was Harry Carey doing play-by-play for the White Sox, along with Jimmy Pearsall in those days.
I don't remember the exact lineup, but I was playing in Bloomington, Illinois in collegiate summer ball, and we used to watch a lot of the White Sox games when Harry was calling them with Jimmy Pearsall. I remember he used to get the lineup at the beginning of the ball game. George Orta leading it off. Batting second is, John Smith, and then come the hitters. Oh man.
3-2 to Descalso. There go the runners, still alive. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. Back-to-back walks issued by Quackenbush. And Jake Lamb's got a chance to do more damage.
Yeah, probably not a good idea to walk 2 guys in front of a guy that already has 2 home runs in the game.
And last time he was up with the bases loaded, he drew a walk for another RBI. Jake Lamb, a 3-run homer and a bases loaded walk in that 8-run first. He struck out in the 4th and homered in the 6th. So it's a 2-homer, 5 RBI night so far for Lamb. Bases full, 2 down. No, he didn't go Brian Gorman. Ahmed is at third. Peralta's at second. Descalso at first. There's a tapper to first. Solarte has it, and that ends the inning. We stretch in San Diego. 10-0 Diamondbacks. As they play Don't Stop Believin' here at Petco. You better believe hard. They've had 2 hits, both singles. Are down 10. As we open up this 3-game series, what's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Game 2. Robbie Ray, the left-hander, on the mound for the Diamondbacks against sinker ball specialist, the guy who looked real good last year, Luis Perdomo. He's not pitched nearly as well this season. That's game 2 of this 3-game set coming up. Tomorrow night, Diamondback Live pregame show comes your way at 6:30. First pitch 7:10 on Fox Sports Arizona. Randall Delgado on to start the bottom of the 7th. Our Ashline call to the bullpen. Randall has been outstanding in giving Torey Lovullo some length and some innings in that bullpen. And if he can finish this one off after the off day yesterday, that'll certainly help. Nick Ahmed takes over at shortstop, replacing Chris Owings, the only change for the Diamondbacks. So Ahmed bats 9th, pitcher spot now 7th. Hunter Renfroe leads it off. He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, Randall's had a couple of speed bumps this season, but for the most part, he's done an outstanding job. He's averaging almost a strikeout per inning. He's only walked 4 batters all season long. He hasn't beaten himself this year like in some seasons past where he walk a couple guys and then give up an extra base hit.
Good start, rings up Renfroe, 1 down. If Archie Bradley is going to pitch more high leverage 1-inning situations like we saw the other night, that means the emphasis for Randall is going to be about length. You know, we've seen him a bunch of times this year go 2 and 3 innings and be very effective. Well, speaking of effective, how about that beard? We were in the video game thing today, and a lot of the players, Chafin and Godley, they were all over the designers about Archie's beard in the video game. The beard does not exist in this year's game, but there's a lot of emphasis on getting that thing to look realistic in the video game.
That's going to be hard to do because it doesn't look real on his face.
It has become a work of art.
It
or
really
as
has.
Archie likes to say, it's luscious.
It's hair art.
It looks like there's a brick under his chin. There's Ryan Schimpf. 3-0. Speaking of beards, here's Kevin Quackenbush. He's had that signature Duck Dynasty beard for a while now. Schimpf draws his second walk tonight. Austin Hedges, the Padres catcher, has singled and struck out. He's got one of San Diego's 2 hits. Pitcher spot coming up for San Diego. Their bullpen is busy. Ibar, the shortstop, on deck. Pitcher spot behind him. Hedges lifts one in the air. Short left center. Here comes Yasmani Tomas. Eric Ibar has walked and flied out. Ibar, a switch hitter. All 4 of his home runs this year have come from the left-hand side of the plate. Pitcher spot up next. The backup catcher is in the on-deck circle for Andy Green. Luis Torrens, Rule 5 pick. So there's Torrens, only 2 for 23 at the plate this year. He was playing rookie ball last year. Such is the life of a Rule 5 pick. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Good slider from Delgado. That's the pitch that he's worked so hard on when he was a starting pitcher. Always been fastball changeup. Has worked on and off at developing that consistent breaking ball. Hard changeups in the dirt. 1-2 on Eric Ibar. Red Sox and A's in Oakland playing extra innings right now. Chris Sale started that game, but it's 2-2 in the 10th.
Sale had at least 10 more strikeouts tonight, which gives him 8 starts in a row with 10 strikeouts or more.
Unbelievable. Delgado's got 2 strikeouts in that inning. He works around the 1-out walk. 8th inning on the way. It's 10-0 Diamondbacks. Fans tomorrow on FS1, NASCAR's biggest stars lay everything on the line for $1 million in the Monster Energy Series All-Star Race. The action starts at 1:30 with qualifying, and then the All-Star Open at 3, followed by the All-Star Race at 5. It all happens tomorrow, and it only happens on FS1. 8th inning in San Diego. Kirby Yates is the new pitcher for the Padres. It's a whole new battery, in fact, as Luis Torrens takes over behind the plate. There's Luis Torrens, the Rule 5 pick. Yasmani Tomas leads off the 8th. He has walked and singled tonight, 1 for 3. Kirby Yates has yet to allow an earned run in 8 appearances this year. Claimed off waivers by the Padres from the Angels near the end of April. Foul back, and it's 0-2. Fastball up and in. Yasmani ducks out of the way. That gentleman behind the plate in the Padres shirt. Maybe they should round up a posse and look for more pitching.
Yeah, he looks a lot like the dude that used to be down in Houston and stand out in left field, Carlos El Caballo, Carlos Lee.
Carlos Lee, yeah.
Yeah, looks a lot like the guy that used to wear the Astros uniform and stand out in left field.
That's a good look. He can pull that off. It's like Walter Brennan from some of those old John Ford westerns.
Fun with facial hair.
2-2 on Yasmani Tomas. Off the side of the mound, Spangenberg at second base, 1 away.
Hey fans, enjoy afternoon baseball at Chase Field with matinee price tickets. The next matinee game is this coming Wednesday, May 24th against the White Sox, followed by these Padres on Thursday, June 8th. Get your matinee tickets now at dbacks.com/matinee.
Always great to play that matinee game Wednesday against the Mets with the roof open. That was a great treat.
Beautiful.
Roof is supposed to be open, fans, for at least the games Monday and Tuesday night against the White Sox. Zach Greinke pitches Monday. So get your tickets at dbacks.com. Here's Drury, who homered in the first, his 4th of the year. And he's been swinging like that ever since he struck out in his last 3 at-bats.
Yeah, hitting coaches call this particular syndrome swinging at the windup. I don't think that Brandon has really had a good look at anything he swung at tonight. Heads flying off the ball, not really recognizing spin on pitches.
Lifted down the right field line and out of play. Now, we talked at the top of the show about some of the Diamondbacks home road splits, and some of them were pretty dramatic. Brandon Drury was on the list, hitting better than .390 at home this year, but .160 on the road. He's got only 2 road RBIs all season. Well, coming into the game, he's now got 4. Goldie was on that list as well. You never know what you're going to find at the dugout. Brandon slaps one the other way, his second hit tonight. A 1-out single. Randall Delgado will hit for himself now. Pitcher spot is 7th in the Diamondback order. That'll give him a chance to pitch at least one more inning. Hopefully 2.
This is only Randall's second at bat of the season, pitching out of the bullpen.
He has a very happy picture on the Petco Park scoreboard in left field. Very big smile on his face. There it is.
He was happy that day.
Apparently. Good take, and it's 2-2.
Good rip at that one. 94 miles an hour, middle of the plate, fouled it straight back. And usually if a pitcher does that at the plate as a hitter, he's going to see a breaking ball in the next pitch.
I imagine as a hitter up there, you're thinking like the pitcher that you are maybe in this situation.
Yeah, what would I throw myself in this situation? Apparently it's a pitch that involves a lot of thought.
Well, they have already given up 14 hits. Bounces it to second. Spangenberg. High bar for one. They get the force on Drury, and that's it. Well, chance now for Jeff Mathis to join the hit parade. He's 0 for 4. Jeff has hit safely in 6 of his last 8 starts behind the plate. Down 0-1. Tonight he has grounded out twice, popped up, and struck out looking. Up the middle, and there it is. Mathis a single. 15 hits for the Diamondbacks.
Join the parade, Jeff Mathis.
Well, you don't want to be left out.
Well, you know what I say about that. When a team puts big offensive numbers on the board, somebody's got to make the outs. Otherwise, you just keep hitting forever. Jeff's just being a good team guy, making outs his first 4 at-bats of the game, but joined the party here in the 8th inning.
Well, Nick Ahmed dove right in. He took over at shortstop for Chris Owings and doubled in his first at bat tonight. He's got Delgado at second, Mathis at first, and 2 outs. D-backs have out-hit the Padres 15-2. Padres have as many hits tonight as Jake Lamb has home runs. 0-2 on Nick. Big night for Jake Lamb. 2 homers, a bases loaded walk. He drove in 5. So he now leads the Diamondbacks both in home runs and RBIs. I think Kirby Yates is distracted by that young lady's hat behind home plate next to the cowboy guy. She's a very sparkly hat. What do you think?
That could be. Something is really bothering him out there on the mound. Can't seem to get on the same page with his catcher, Luis Torrens.
It's quite a collection of hats behind home plate we have tonight. Dodgers now lead Miami 7-0 in LA. They're in the ninth. Oakland beat the Red Sox 3-2 final in extras at the Coliseum. That game had been tied up 2-2. 2-2 on Ahmed. Rockies 12-6 winners in Cincinnati. Giants 6-5 winners in St. Louis. Full count on Ahmed, 3-2. Gregor Blanco, the leadoff man, on deck.
Apparently there was some extracurricular activity in that Dodger-Miami game.
Oh, really?
Don Mattingly, Bob Guerin, Ross Stripling all ejected from the ball game, and apparently Mattingly and Guerin were nose to nose at one point.
Wow. Ahmed chases a slider and strikes out. Bottom 8 coming up. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 10-0. Diamondbacks an 8-run first inning. They homered twice in that inning. Jake Lamb and Brandon Drury. Lamb has homered twice tonight. Drury's got a homer. Fuentes has taken over for Peralta, who homered. Here's all the hubbub at Dodger Stadium as Ross Stripling hits Giancarlo Stanton and the bench is empty. Dave Roberts can't believe it. It turns into a big sort of pile up here, and Mattingly and Dodger bench coach Bob Guerin get nose to nose. So the Dodgers have a big lead in LA over the Marlins.
If only you could hear the audio of what goes on when those square dances start, because that's basically what they are. You just go out and find a guy on the other team and get a hold of his jersey, and 2 steps right, 1 step back.
Howdy partners, corners all. Wave to the pretty gal across the hall. Ray Fuentes.
Nice.
I don't even know how I know that. Fuentes takes over in right for Peralta. Yeah, 7-0 Dodgers over the Marlins. Luis Torrens, the catcher, is first at bat tonight. Another Rule 5 pick of the Padre roster, only 2 for 23 at the plate this year.
Luis Torrens going through this year what Oscar Hernandez went through a couple of years ago. Just as a Rule 5 pick, has to stay on the roster all summer or be offered back to the organization that he was plucked from. And with that in mind, Andy Green tries to get him in there and keep him involved in the action, but tough to do when Hedges is hitting home runs the way he has been.
Skies one to center for Blanco. That Torrens just turned 21 years old earlier this month. Had been playing in the Yankees minor league system. He'd never played above A ball as a professional. Now here he is in the big leagues, which cannot be easy. I think that's Luis Sardinas, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is.
You're right.
The shortstop now warming up. This is the second time this year Andy Green's had to do this against the Diamondbacks. We saw Christian Bethancourt pitch earlier this year. That experiment, by the way, with Bethancourt did not work out. He's down to the minors. Manuel Margot, a single in the third, one of the 2 Padre hits tonight. He's 1 for 3. Margot strikes out. Let's go back to that square dance at Dodger Stadium. Watch the bottom of your screen. There's Bob Guerin, number 8, the Dodger bench coach, nose to nose with former Dodger skipper, now Marlins manager Don Mattingly.
Boy, Donnie Baseball looks a little upset there.
You're right. Yeah, usually you're right, that's a lot of posturing, but this one seemed a little more animated. Corey Spangenberg. 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch swinging, pops it up. Nick Ahmed underneath it at shortstop. And Delgado works a quick 8th. 9th inning on the way. It's 10-0 Diamondbacks. Fans with us making the trip out to San Diego for the weekend, and they're enjoying this one 10-0 in the 9th inning. Being a D-backs season ticket holder comes with lots and lots of perks, including discounts on concessions around Chase Field. Not only do they get $2 soda refills all season long, but they also save on signature items like the D-backs Churro Dog, the D-Bat Dog, Southwest Grilled Cheese, and a whole lot more. You can see all the perks of becoming a Diamondbacks season ticket holder at dbacks.com/advantage. Well, it's come down to this. Here is Luis Sardinas, the shortstop, who will work the 9th inning. Sardinas played most of the second half of the year at shortstop for the Padres last year. And there he is positioning his infielders around him. He did pitch 1 inning last year in a game against the Cubs and was very efficient. 8 pitches in that 1 inning. Gregor Blanco leads off the Arizona 9th. Shift is on, and there's strike 1.
It kind of reminds me of the one year I was playing winter ball, and Vic Davalillo was probably, I don't know, 42, 45 years old at the time, and would DH and occasionally play a little bit of first base. And we had a blowout game like this, so Vic volunteered to go out to the mound and pitch, and he was shaking me off every pitch and moving position players around, and no, you play in the hole, you play deeper, you come in. Vic Davalillo, to the best of my knowledge, had never pitched before in his life.
Let's not overthink this. Well, he was just ahead of his time in terms of sabermetrics and no defensive shifts, that's all. And this is the chance to get a little ugly here in a 10-0 game in the 9th. Right into the shift. Ryan Schimpf, the third baseman. That's a 5-3 putout. First at bat tonight for Ray Fuentes, who took over in right field for David Peralta. We were talking on the radio with Burns and Gambo earlier today. As we do every Friday, our broadcast crew talks to Burnsy and Gambo, and you're talking about center field, the difference last year this year now that A.J. Pollock is on the DL. Of course, he hopefully won't miss nearly as many games this time, but the point being, last year when A.J. was out, they had to go out and get Michael Bourne just essentially to find a body to put out there because he didn't want to have Chris Owings play the whole season in center field. Well, this year they're much better equipped to deal with A.J. Pollock's injury because you've got Ray Fuentes and Gregor Blanco. It's not just Michael Bourne every day.
And earlier this year, Jeremy Hazelbaker was up and playing some center field as well. Guys that are all experienced playing the position.
So you figure you've got 2 guys now filling AJ's shoes, and Fuentes, who's got great speed, he's only 26 years old. You figure, he plays center field, say 4 days out of the 7 in the week, and maybe Blanco plays center field the other 3, and also plays a corner outfield spot maybe once a week. And he'll try and pick up the slack while AJ's out that way. But certainly much better equipped to handle that type of injury than they were last year. Right at the shortstop, Eric Ibar. Two down, Daniel Descalso now. Two and 0. Sardinas will say this for him: 11 pitches, 7 strikes. He's got 2 ground ball outs so far. Descalso knocks it into right, a 2-out single. Make it 16 Diamondbacks hits. Jake Lamb already with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs on the night. He had a 3-run home run and a bases loaded walk in that 8-run D-backs first, and then hit a solo home run in the 6th. Home runs numbers 10 and 11 on the year for Jake, and they look a little something like this. Here's the 3-run shot in the first off Weaver, and then in the 6th inning, after Peralta had homered off Craig Stammen, Jake gets another one deep to center. His first career multi-home run game.
Well, you can be sure that Torey Lovullo is going to remind his ball club of their first trip in here to San Diego this season.
How about that contrast, huh?
Scored 11 runs in the first game of the series, beat the Padres 11-2, and then dropped 1-0 and 4-1 games, and didn't hardly make a noise offensively in the last 2 games.
Jake Lamb hits it deep center field. Margot's at the track. And Sardinius gets his job done. Bottom 9 coming up. It's 10-0 Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks lead the Padres 10-0. 10 runs on 16 hits. The Padres tonight have as many hits as Jake Lamb has home runs. Randall Delgado back out there for his 3rd inning of work. So this will be back-to-back off days for the Diamondback bullpen, with the exception of Randall. So that's an added bonus tonight.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that Andy Green, well, I'm sure will have props for Craig Stammen after the ball game for what he was able to do out of the Padres bullpen. Same thing goes for Randall Delgado in a winning effort. You don't want to have to use too many pitchers when you have a 10-0 lead in the game, and Randall's been able to carry the load here.
2 hitless innings in relief so far. He's walked 1, struck out 2, ahead of Alan Cordoba 0-2. To lead off the 9th, Cordoba, another Rule 5 pick, hitting .263. He's got 3 home runs. Trip Gibson says no, 1-2 on Cordoba. This guy they like a lot. Playing mostly left field and shortstop. Just 21 years old.
Now, you know, partner, I like versatile players as much as anybody, but with this Padres team, they have so many guys that play multiple positions on a regular basis. I mean,
you got Solarte and Spangenberg. Cordoba's been played all over.
Ryan Schimpf has been moved around a little bit.
Cordoba squirts one through the hole, a leadoff single, just the 3rd hit for the Padres today. So what you're saying is there's not really any consistency.
Well, at some point you'd like to think guys would settle in or earn a spot as an everyday player at one position. But it just seems like there's a lot of moving parts, and they continue to move daily.
Well, Andy Green sort of started that ball rolling in spring training with Solarte. This is foul ground, 3rd base side for Lamb. Solarte had been the 3rd baseman last year. Schimpf had been the 2nd baseman while Spangenberg was injured, and Andy decided, you know, now that I think about it, I like Solarte better at 2nd base, so he moved him over there. Then he let Schimpf and Spangenberg fight it out for 3rd. Schimpf won. Spangenberg started the year in the minors. But then Ryan Schimpf stopped hitting except for the occasional home run. So Spangenberg came up, and he's played all over. Second, third, and left field. Here's Hunter Renfroe. Cordoba, they're trying to decide now that they're going to keep him all year. Is he an outfielder, or is he a shortstop, or is he a super utility guy? As Andy thinks that Cordoba might be able to down the road play both shortstop and center field. Kind of a Robin Yount deal. That's foul.
Luis Sardinez, sometimes he's a utility player, sometimes he's a pitcher.
Well, hopefully for them, not often. Jody Jackson standing by. Diamondback Live postgame show follows our ball game, and the talk of the town tonight will be that 8-run D-backs first. They sent 14 men to the plate in the top of the first inning. Jared Weaver did not survive that first inning. He faced only 9 batters tonight. 14 men came up and 8 scored in that first.
And the D-backs left the bases loaded.
He did, you're right. Yasmani Tomas got caught looking. And they added 2 more runs in the 6th inning. Solo homers by Peralta and Lamb. Jake's second of the ball game. His first career multi-home run game. So the Diamondbacks will get to 7 games over 500 for the year. And they'll stay just 2 games behind the Rockies for the NL West lead. Two and 2 on Hunter Renfroe. Full count, 3-2. Trying to change the road mojo. Diamondbacks 18-8 at home, only 6-10 on the road. So this is a good start to turning that around. Ryan Schimpf on deck. Sky high pop up one more time for Jake in foul territory. Two down for Schimpf. So Diamondback Live postgame show immediately following our ball game here on Fox Sports Arizona. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6:30. First pitch 7:10. Robbie Ray against Luis Perdomo. Sunday it'll be Zach Godley versus Clayton Richard. Cordoba takes second uncontested. No stolen base there. Squirts it off the side of the mound away from the shift, and there goes the shutout. Cordoba will score. It's an RBI single for Schimpf, and he's getting a standing ovation.
Cue shot off the end of the bat with that shifted defense, rolls right through. Nice try by Brandon Drury just to knock that one down, hopefully glove it, and possibly have a play at home plate, but hit off the webbing of the glove and got far enough away to allow Cordoba to score. Cordoba.
Well, here's the pitcher's spot, and it brings up the shortstop Luis Sardinez because he's been pitching. 170 without an extra base hit this year. He hits like a pitcher. Sardinez spent much of the second half of last year as the Padres' everyday shortstop, but has barely played this year. He's only 3 for 22 at the plate. 3 for his last 22 as Schimpf takes second uncontested. Sardinius is another guy who plays all over. They started converting him into an outfielder when they decided he would not be their shortstop this year. That started in spring training in Peoria. Now we need a whole nother conference. Everybody in the division except the Padres winning tonight. D-backs up 10-1. Rockies won in Cincinnati. Giants won in St. Louis. Dodgers, that game where they had the benches clear in LA is now a final. Dodgers beat the Marlins 7-2. Rockies won 12-6. Giants winners at Busch Stadium 6-5. 1-2 on Sardinius. One more time for Lamb. 3 foul pop-ups in the inning, and he can't quite get there. Just over 22,000 in at Petco Park tonight. Many of them Diamondback fans who made the trip out here this weekend. Maybe a little less than 22,000 still here right now. Another 1-2 pitch to Luis Sardinius. Hard change up in the dirt from Randall, and it's 2-2. Delgado at 40 pitches, 25 strikes, trying to close out his 3rd inning in relief of Taijuan Walker, who worked 6 scoreless tonight. Taijuan gave up only 2 hits, both singles. He walked 3, struck out 3. And is in line for his 4th win of the year. Full count, 3-2. Ibar, the shortstop, is on deck. No one throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Three-two pitch.
He was pretty proud of himself.
He was having a bro moment there. Sardinius continues to put up a fight. Here we go again on 3-2. Center field, Blanco's out there. And the ball game is over. Jake Lamb, his first career multi-home run game. The Diamondbacks sent 14 men to the plate in the first inning. 8 of them scored, and they win the opener of this 3-game set 10-1. They moved to 7 games over 500 this year.